Yeah,
So,
I thought it said,
what are y'all thinking? Which one looks different?
I said C.
You said C, you said B? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Why do you say B? Okay. Is it because of the numbers or? Okay, so there's more numbers than the other two options. Why do you say C?
That's why I'm gonna get extra credit.
Because it doesn't look like that four got put into that H. You see how G has a power of four, it's been quadruplicized? Mm-hmm. H don't do that.
Okay, so H doesn't have an exponent. What's the difference between C versus A? Is there another difference?
Oh,
Does it-
it has like two
Is that it?
Okay, so there's only two logs written and the other ones have three? Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to get in there, I was trying to get in there.
Steve, why do you say B? Is it eight in front? Okay, so the other ones don't
Why did you pick
have
that option?
letter,
We
okay.
chose,
What about,
we chose C.
when you're doing this, so you're saying that it's because these are coefficients? Okay.
C, key buzz. C doesn't have
What are y'all thinking?
three logs.
B, why?
As to A and C, I mean A and B.
Like one fraction, basically, okay, so like you're saying that with here, for A, there's a log of the numerator, log of the denominator. In C, there's a log of the numerator and in the denominator in the fraction. And then you're saying in the fraction, there's only one log for B.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a general rule that you can write
Is
for
there a
that?
general rule you could create? No comprende?
No log of the larger part, the larger. Log of the smaller part.
Perfect, y'all.
Okay.
What are y'all thinking? Why is A? Without a fraction? Okay.
Look at it.
So is there a general rule that y'all can write then?
Log of bigger.
It's the only one.
Which would be the
So is there a general rule that y'all can write that would always work? So like you're saying that every single time you have a fraction here and here, right?
Mira leído por dos lados.
Okay. This one doesn't have a fraction. So is there a rule that you can write where like you can put like an A and a B in instead of numbers?
Like, what's the general rule, like, based off of these?
Right, how do we turn
Why
this
did you do the same?
How it into an equation?
like this one?
Like is there the general equation y'all can write?
It could be log 79,
That one smell like gum.
log 9, which one is log 7?
Okay, so you're saying that to make it match the other two, you do the fraction with a log of the numerator, log of the numerator. Okay.
Cool. Here she go.
That would be the rule.
The first thing.
What y'all thinking? Okay.
If I
So,
were to do-
What, you guys said the odd one out was C. Okay, and you guys said that that was because there were more
That don't make sense,
coefficients.
man. I haven't read
Okay.
it yet.
When it comes to looking at
I'm waiting
each of
until
them,
the 10
right,
minutes are
there
done.
was a six,
Not that I'm a part of
and
it.
confusion six, right? The W doesn't have anything in front, so I just say it's W.
It's got 6 minutes.
Right here, we have nothing in front,
No,
but then we have what happened here.
18 minutes.
So should there be a
Was that working?
five there, maybe? Because there was a five originally. Did y'all see
What?
that?
Oh, your first thing? You got it. No, but I'm
That one, we were both in pre-calculation.
Yes.
We were both in
Want me to throw it at you, or?
What were y'all thinking?
So is that both pre?
That's fine. No, thank you. But I'm saying like,
Is there anything that we never seen?
yes.
Like you seen me with this in paper?
No, I just didn't.
Okay. So Jocelyn and Michelle switch. Yep.
Ya no, ya no te va a pegar el pelo.
Lindsay switched. And then I want you to, the person that switched is gonna explain what their group saw for their rule, okay? Which one they said the odd one out. What you guys will notice is that you guys have very similar things. So groups 3 and 6 have very similar concepts. Groups 1 and 4 have similar concepts, and 2 and 5. The odd one out of the groups is 7. I'm going to talk with them about it, okay? So within your small groups, now the speaker is the person who switched. So like Jesus is going to talk about what his group 3 found. Michelle is going to talk about what her group found. And go. Now, notice
A general
the base So the base is being very wide. And really, there's actually 2 options of what can be the odd one out. So each of them is easy.
I'm not lying.
Base being different is one reason. Oh, yeah. You guys find another reason, different reason why C is the odd one out. So you guys, these good. C, you always have to figure out why C is the odd one out. Okay, what do you, so, Gannett, tell me what your friend was talking about with yours. Okay. Okay. Is that what y'all's group found as well? Very similar, right? And like you actually were talking about it, about the 8, right? And so that kind of comparison, those are that is the same. Is there anything that's different about y'all's papers?
I know, with they mostly see the prohibition outside of the law.
So theirs goes from longer to smaller. Yeah, ours goes to larger, which is opposite, right? Okay. Okay, what y'all find in your group? So, Dylan, you were the speaker. You guys said B was the odd one out. You guys said C was the odd one out. Yeah, does that match up to what kind of both ideas or not really?
That's what I was gonna ask you, but, you know.
Not really? Okay. Are you able to see why their group chose that? Okay, can you explain to me?
It's like how you said about like laws to be and like since B has like 8 before law.
Okay, and then what did you guys said it was because of the G minus the 8, right? So, Lily, what did you tell Dylan that y'all said about that? Like the fact that there was, you said something earlier about the logs.
Yeah, how like there was only 2 or there's 3 now.
Yeah, and so theirs is a little bit different because they have only 2 logs, all of yours have 3. Is there another difference y'all noticed?
So there's like fractions
The fractions are second.
Yes.
Where's y'all's fractions?
in front.
Front, so it's kind of the opposite way, y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do y'all notice about yours?
It's basically the same. Yeah.
Okay. But you guys did write the same rule. You 2 groups wrote the right rule, well, not right rule, but you guys wrote the same thing when it came to generating your rule, which was funny. I don't know if y'all realized it, but like as I was listening, you guys both were kind of saying the exact same thing I was listening. Okay. So, when you guys, Michelle, when you switched over, what did you notice? General rule. Okay. Good. Okay. So let's talk through as a whole group what we were just kind of looking at. Okay. So group 7 was the odd one out. Okay. They were basically when we were doing this with the odd one out for group 7, they had a paper where they didn't have multiple logs, okay? So they're the only group that I discussed with, that y'all have made?
It would be log AB, and then it equals log B over log A.
Yep, okay, so you said that it was log AB, it would be log B divided by log A,
Yes.
and that was a general rule, that is the correct general rule. This is actually called change of base. So you guys were kind of able to figure out the general rule. Now, Lay, you said something about the opposites. Do you remember what you said about the opposites? That's okay. Zamora, do you remember what y'all were talking about the opposites?
About how when theirs was larger to smaller, and ours were smaller to larger.
Yep, so theirs was larger to smaller, and the other group was smaller to larger, okay? Smaller to larger is called expanding logarithms. Larger to smaller is called condensing logarithms. And these three topics are the basis of today's lesson. Okay? So that is what we're doing today in class. Okay, so go ahead and make a note of that on your paper. So, with Kaylee's group, they were by themselves, okay? They were number 7. And number 7, there is actually 2 wrong answers. And I don't want to say wrong because these were kind of subjective. But with 7, there was 2 odd ones out, okay? And I want you to try and look at it and see if you can figure out what options they said. Okay? So looking at number 7,
C and B.
say again?
C and B.
C and B. Okay, why is it C and B? Somebody
Someone besides me.
say it again?
You said someone besides me.
Well, you can say it or somebody else if they figured it out. Anybody else know why?
B is the only one with the square root.
B is one of those square roots. There's something else that's off by